Hey, welcome back to The Irrational, the podcast where we discuss different pieces of media and the fears that they've instilled in us. You might notice that I am recording from a new location today. Yep, that's right, coming to you live from the side of some highway. I don't know exactly how I got here. Last night I was reading a book in front of the fireplace in the cabin, and felt a little drowsy. Maybe I dozed off, I don't know, and I just woke up next to the highway. Don't know how that happened. Maybe that means the doors and windows aren't boarded up in the cabin anymore. I don't know. We'll see when I get back. Anyways, I'm in a bit of a rush today, so I am recording this on my cell phone so I can edit it when I get back to the cabin. But that's neither here nor there. I've woken up in weirder places. I'll be fine. But today's episode is my good friend Danii Gallegos. She is a comedian working in Chicago. Danii was very accommodating because the place I normally record the podcast is kind of not an option this week. So she met me at Cole's Bar in Chicago. Love Cole's Bar. But I just want to give you a heads up that there might be some background noise during the conversation. We discuss how the media can affect your perception of yourself and how late night infomercials can really affect a young, malleable mind. Like usual, we plug everything at the very end of the episode. So yeah, without further ado, Danii Gallegos. We are recording in the back room at Cole's Bar, a currently open and busy bar with people moving stuff around, but that's okay. I just wanted to give the audience a heads up on the weird sounds. How do you feel about it?
I feel great. I think it's charming and quirky.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Like our manic pixie personalities.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I just love Cole and his
Shout
bar.
out to Cole.
Yeah, Cole's Bar on Milwaukee Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. Check it out. It is the best bar in Chicago.
One of the
in
best
my
bars
opinion.
that I've been to in the country. Honestly.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's like a dive bar, but it's not, you don't feel in danger.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm growing into the floor.
Yeah, exactly. It's clean. It's a clean dive bar somehow. Clean enough, for us dirt people. So Danii,
Yes.
I want to ask you this real quick. Did you grow up with cable or without?
I didn't have cable until my parents got a divorce.
Okay.
And then when my parents got a divorce, not only did I get cable, but I got a television in my room.
Oh, fuck yeah. So this was, what age would you say?
Around 8.
Around 8. And then, so what happened to you is one night you stayed up all night watching infomercials, and you watched a lot of varicose vein infomercials?
It was like infomercials on varicose vein treatment and removal.
Yeah.
Or like...
And so this was after the cable. Like, you got the TV in your room, so that's why you were allowed to stay up late watching this stuff? Okay, cool.
But like, I think... No, not Cartoon Network, because they do Adult Swim.
Yeah.
One of the channels that I liked to watch just turned into infomercial. I think it was Comedy Central, actually.
Sure.
It was like Comedy Central, and it wasn't like when they would go into their like Girls Gone Wild commercials.
Yeah.
Which for some reason I would just like leave the TV on and just keep it going through the infomercials just all night.
Yeah.
So I watched a lot of infomercials and like Girls Gone Wild infomercials.
Yeah, I've definitely watched a lot of Girls Gone Wild infomercials. That was I only had Net Zero, which is awful dial-up internet, so that was the closest thing to porn that I could get my hands on.
I don't know why. Like, I definitely did watch it, and but it was like a complex case study on humans.
Sure.
I was just like, why are guys into this?
Uh-huh.
Is this how I'm supposed to act?
Mm-hmm.
Should I do that for boys to like me? I don't want to do that, though.
Yeah, because looking for me,
Yeah.
as a kid, I was like, this is the best. This is the fucking coolest thing. And then now as an adult,
Girls
looking
showing
back,
their boobs for T-shirts.
Exactly. And then looking back, I'm like, oh God, these poor girls, like they're being taken advantage of. And like, honestly, people complain, like they're like, oh, that stuff's fake. And I'm like, I hope it is fake. Like, I hope these are like willing and knowing women that are being paid for this. Because otherwise that's disgusting. Like
If those are willing and knowing women that got paid, like fucking good for them.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But who knows if it is.
Oh,
so
God.
looking back, I don't know, my general adulthood has tainted my fond memories of the Girls Gone Wild
Is there like a
commercials.
Vice article about Girls Gone Wild?
There should be.
Let's write it.
I do want to though mention, because I have a bit about like limited technology masturbation and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it. It's a really good one.
Oh, thank you. I want to mention Girls Gone Wild commercials, and well, before I mention, I just want to play the theme song from my phone and just see how many guys in the room perk up. Like, oh, I haven't thought about that in years, because it's such a weird.
What
it's
happened to it?
Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
Last I heard, he was like facing a lot of creepy allegations, like charges, and like
Shocking.
yeah, exactly. And then it looked like he was gonna beat him because he's rich.
Right.
And then I think he didn't. I don't know any this is all just like conjecture. Like I really don't know. But then I never heard about Girls Gone Wild again. Like,
yeah, that was
it
the
just
thing.
fell
It
off.
was like it was there and then it wasn't.
Yeah. Probably just like I don't know. Probably the internet killed it because people were like, "Why would I pay
True.
money for the softest core porn?" when I
VHS
have the
tapes
internet?
of like drunk girls.
I bet there's a website. I bet if we went to it right now, there'd be a Girls Gone Wild website. I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't need to
Yeah, we
advertise
don't
for
need
Girls
to-
Gone Wild.
Yeah, we definitely don't need to do that.
Oh man. So the reason I asked if you had cable or not was because I grew up without cable, and I did the same thing. I had favorite infomercials. Like I would like the NutriBullet and all that stuff.
Oh,
like,
those were great.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
like a phony, it was like a bunch of old people hanging out, and they were preparing for a party of just the 6 of them, and they were making enough food for 100 people. And I was just like, it really convinced me. I was like, I need I could make so much food if I had one of these.
Infomercials convinced me of so many things.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. As
So
cheesy as, because you watch them because you're like, this is hilarious, like how dumb it is. But they know that that's what's drawing you in, and then they're tricking you.
Because it's like, oh, this is funny. Ha ha, look at them. And then it's like, oh, but that does look really convenient. Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Oh.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had a temper tantrum because I watched a bunch of infomercials for TiVo, and I wanted my mom to get a TiVo so badly.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't get it. She was like, it's so expensive. And I was like, no, it's $9.99.
No, wait, $9.99. What is that? $9.99 a month?
It was $9.99 a month for the first 2 months or
sure.
something.
And then it
I
becomes,
just
$34.99.
didn't understand math and
Yeah. I mean, we're children.
yeah.
We think our parents are rich, and then we're
Oh my
just
God,
just buy
yeah.
stuff, Shit, what was I about to say? Yeah, I bought a ShamWow. I owned a
My
ShamWow. They're not
stepmom
good.
also bought a ShamWow.
Yeah.
I realized on Time Hop, I looked and I had taken a picture going, my stepmom actually bought a ShamWow.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was like, Vince, the ShamWow guy, he looked like such a clown, and then I watched it and I was like, yeah, but that thing's soaking up that water pretty good. They're not bad, but they're not good. They're not nearly as good as the commercial makes it
Yeah.
out to be. And the reason I fell for it was because
Wasn't he in a movie with Lindsay Lohan? Vince, the ShamWow guy?
Rule 34, something like that.
But I'm right?
I'm pretty sure he was
Yeah.
in a movie, like an
That's
actual
so
movie.
funny. Oh, Vince, the ShamWow guy.
And then he got beat up by a prostitute or a sex worker rather.
Whoa.
I think, and then he wound up in jail. I don't know. Vince is a complicated case. That Vince. But I thought they were, because I owned chamois because I was a diver as a kid.
Mhm.
I took classes and I bailed as quickly as I could. That's fine. I mean, we're in a bar with music. They got to tune up. That's okay.
Yeah.
But then when I got it, I was like, I should have just bought a chamois. A chamois is like this weird tiny little piece of cloth that can dry your entire body, and then it wrings out so easy and you can just keep drying shit.
No way.
They're so dope. It's better than a pool towel, and that's why divers would use them because they're super convenient and you just wring them out super easy. I feel like I keep advertising products on this episode. Well, it's infomercials.
Well, I guess it's
the theme.
stemmed from a night of watching infomercials.
Yeah. So you stayed up all night one night and just happened to watch an infomercial about varicose veins. And
It was like a
treatment.
marathon, like
Yeah.
an all-night marathon, and I suffered from mild bouts of insomnia when I was younger, due to just depression and anxiety and various
Yeah.
things of and I was going through one of them where I was just maybe getting 2 hours of sleep a night for about a month, and for like a few nights in a row, there were these infomercials about varicose vein treatments.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of had like this, like just cringy, icky, grossed out feeling to anything involving skin.
Yeah.
Like like when you get sunburnt and it like peels, like I can't deal with that. And like rashes and oh god, hickeys look disgusting. Like I would just like, oh my god, in high school, if anybody even like started like getting near my neck, I was like, don't you fucking give me a hickey.
Yeah, they
like,
do look gross.
Oh, they're so gross. And then I heard that it was just like popped blood vessels, and then the idea of popped blood vessels just like, ugh.
Yeah, you're just damaging your skin to why? It's
gross.
Not even like the amount, like unless you're like have super sensitive skin, the amount of like sucking and biting you need to do to get the hickey is pretty unpleasant. Like I've gotten a hickey and I was like, this sucks. Like, and like it's like, you don't like this, you're cringing. I don't need to describe this any further.
I mean, no,
hickeys suck is what I'm trying to say.
Honestly, this is just gonna be the whole episode. I get
cringing?
like so grossed out by it.
For sure, I don't blame you. I do have like weird skin stuff too. Like, not really that bad. Like I have eczema, so like I grew up like I'm used to rashes and whatnot. But like just watching a movie, like I can see somebody get like shot, like I can see people get ripped, like I can see all the gory shit in the movie, but like if they show like just a close up like gentle incision like in a doctor scene or something like that, I freak the fuck out. Like just seeing the skin get cut freaks, like it's something deep inside me that just hurts.
That's how I feel, but about like skin stuff, like because I used to watch those like surgical shows as a kid, of like Dr. 90210 and stuff. Yeah. Of like people getting plastic surgery, and I was just like super
real
fast.
People? This is
real
like,
people.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
And I'd just be like, wow, that's super interesting. Cool, interesting. And then like my mom once asked me to rub suntan lotion on her back, and she had sunburn, and it was like peeling, and I like started dry heaving.
Yeah,
I was like, I can't.
Fuck out.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I just couldn't do it. And my mom was like, you can't touch your own mother's back. And I was like, it's not that you're my mom, and it's not that it's your back. It's just you're peeling, and that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to think that's gross. And I also have like, I get stress-induced psoriasis of my scalp.
Okay.
But
that's what I was about to ask. How do you deal with it when it's on your own skin?
Oh God, I hate it.
Yeah.
I really hate it.
Does it like, obviously like you hate it, like I hate when I have like an eczema outbreak and stuff, but like do you get the heebie-jeebie feeling?
I do.
You do?
I
so like sunburn, do you ever sunburn?
I don't really ever sunburn.
You seem like someone who would tan.
Yeah,
you just get like olive.
I get a little bit sunburned, but it doesn't peel.
Yeah.
I get sunburned for like a day, and then it just turns in. I mean, I'm just blessed, you know?
Yeah. I'm so jealous. I'm like, I took a selfie today. I was trying to promote a show, and I was taking a dumb selfie, and then I deleted it because I'm a coward. But I was like, I noticed because I was wearing a tank top, I was like, my neck and face is so red compared to my milky white body because I walk dogs. So like, it's so subtle that it's happened over the week, and I didn't realize I was getting burned, and I was like, oh my God, I need to start putting on sunscreen.
Yeah.
I burn so easily. It's pretty brutal. But so you got real nervous about getting varicose veins?
Yeah, like I looked into it to see if it was like genetic, and then I immediately I was in high school, so I had a phone at the time. Like this wasn't when I was 8. This was like I was like 17 or 18 maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't think I knew what varicose veins were. I just knew that like some old people had like really lumpy legs, and it grossed me out, and I didn't know why.
Wait, I want to just real quick. I want to clarify because like when I grew up, I always because I know they're both varicose veins, but in my head, varicose veins were just those like it's like a blue spiderwebby looking thing, right? Yeah. Are you more talking about the ones where the vein gets super thick?
It's both.
Because those, I did not know what they were for a long time. I didn't know that that was just like a varicose vein type of thing, and it freaked me. There's a tambourine in the background. I'm glad that this conversation's going smoothly because I could not edit this if I wanted to. There's no way, because it would just be a jump cut from like a tambourine to like a train going by.
It honestly, it just sounds like we're like doing a podcast in a haunted house,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is dope. That's like so my
MO.
MO.
Wait, so yeah, the so the lumpier beer, like
I'm grossed out by both.
Yeah.
Or not. It's less of a grossed
sure
out.
One more than the other,
it's
though.
more. I don't know.
Really?
It's like, I have this like intense fear of like getting both of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Like, I mean, your podcast's called The Irrational.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many more things that I should be afraid of getting, but for some reason, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want that to happen.
Because it's like, they seem painful and sensitive.
Yeah.
It seems like something that, like, when I see it, I'm just like, how are you just out walking? Aren't you scared something's going to bump into that, you know? But, like, from what I hear,
God, and then it just, like, bursts and spiders come out of it.
That's what it seems like, but that's not
right?
the case.
It seems like just, like, a bug, like, laid eggs under. I feel like this is just going to make anybody, if they have varicose veins, like, very self-conscious. I'm not trying to do that.
Right. We're not body shaming, like, positivity and all that.
No,
it's
like,
more based in fear. It's not like we're not judging, like, oh, you're gross, get out of here. It's like, because I get it. It makes me anxious seeing it because it just, like, it's such an, I don't want to say abnormal, but it's just not something you're used to.
Right.
And not everybody knows what it is. So, like, it's coming from, like, a place of fear and kind of ignorance. Like, we just don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, I Googled it right before I came here just in case. And the first thing it says on Google is, like, varicose veins cannot be cured. And I was like, oh, God, no.
Yeah. Yeah, they have, like, all those treatments and stuff. And I was like, I don't think that's, like, excuse me, it might make it, like, a little better. But I don't think there's any real cure.
Apparently you can get, like, if it's lumpy, you can get the lumpy ones, like, removed.
Yeah, they like remove a because what it is like the vein starts growing too rapidly, too big or something like that. I've had it explained to me. I got a little secret to tell you. They're called a varicose seal, and I have one on a testicle.
No
way! The audience
way.
doesn't need to know this, but they do now. And it's like, it really freaked me out because I discovered it when I was like a early teenager, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, this isn't, because like I checked myself for lumps and shit. I was like, this is not what they described. Like, I didn't expect like all this. And then I went to the doctor, and he was like, okay, we'll do two things. You're gonna jack off in this cup and we'll check your sperm count, and does it hurt? And I was like, no. And he goes, okay, that's one of the things done. So then they checked my sperm count and it was fine. And he goes, okay, so if you were to get surgery right now, it would be purely cosmetic. And I was a kid and I didn't want him operating on my testicles, so I just have it. It's really not noticeable. Sure. You don't need to, I don't need to describe my testicles to you or the audience, but I don't know why I went into that.
No, it's valid information.
Oh yeah, that's how I know about how it's cosmetically,
it
can be cosmetically removed, or really more improved rather than removed. Like it's still kind of there, and then you still kind of, I think, are prone to it coming back.
So will you get one of those like spider web veins on your testicles when you get old?
I mean, I don't have anything like that. It's just the thick one. But it's not as big and gross. I didn't mean to use the word gross. Now I feel like I'm defending my own body, so I'm like freaking out and using like judgmental terms. But like, it's just like, it's not that big. It's not even that noticeable. I don't know. I feel like now you're just bummed and picturing my gross.
I'm not. No, not at all. No, definitely not. Also, you know who my friends are. All of my friends are like gross dudes.
You've heard grosser things from. You probably heard grosser things today.
Yeah, I have. Oh my God, I have.
But so you started really worrying about it. So like you looked it up. Are there causes, or is it genetic? Like what's the deal with it?
I think it's mostly genetic.
Yeah.
And then when I texted my sister about it, I was like, oh God, how do you stop yourself from getting varicose veins? Because she's an occupational therapist.
Oh, cool.
So she deals with like geriatric patients all the time, and she was like, I don't know, they're just kind of something that happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you want to lessen it, you could lay on your back on your bed with your legs upright against the wall.
Well, just daily? Like every day you do this?
I don't.
No, I mean, but like that's the treatment? The idea behind that is you
like,
just do this every day?
It's a preventative measure because varicose veins happen when your veins are having trouble getting blood to your heart.
Okay, so you're helping the blood flow.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I guess, yeah, because gravity's pulling all the blood down to your... I guess that's why it's more in legs than anywhere else in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, you're, like, working out is good, and then, like, laying on your back and just, like, helping the blood flow is good.
Yeah.
And so for a really long time, I was doing that, like, every day because I was just like so nervous.
Yeah. And how old were you when this was all
like 17, 18, like when you really, really worried more about
what everyone's looking at, like
exactly
freaking out about your body and stuff. Yeah.
And just like not totally understanding that like it's more of like a middle-aged older people thing, but also I had that like fear of like aging badly, and I don't know, very just vain problems.
Not
like pun
every
intended.
Ounce of our goddamn, I did not even catch that. Every ounce of our media is directed at making women feel like they need to fit a certain standard.
It's so like true. And like varicose veins happen to everyone, and that infomercial was like mostly directed at women, and
Absolutely.
it was a Comedy Central. I'm pretty sure it was Comedy Central. I don't even think it was like a women's network.
Yeah.
So it was just this infomercial that had mostly women, and it was just like scared of those disgusting spider veins. And it was just like, oh God, I didn't even know that could happen.
Exactly.
I'm sitting here worried about getting fat, and now I have to worry about veins.
And it's definitely fucking up probably mostly children, because like I feel like adults get insomnia, of course.
Right.
Like everyone gets insomnia, but I feel like it's super common for kids to stay up really late, and I feel like a lot of kids think it's like, oh, I just have insomnia or I'm a night owl. I think a lot of it is the fact that the entire world feels like it's on our shoulders and we panic and we just can't sleep at night. Like that was the case with me.
Yeah, no, that's totally it.
It's all like weird depression and fear from school. You're in high school. How are you gonna sleep when you're in high school? You know?
God, high school was the worst 4 years of my life.
Oh yeah.
Like it's been 8 years since I graduated high school, so that's double the time that I was in high school. And high school still felt longer than the 8 years that I've been out of high school.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like first off, it's like you don't have any concept of time because you're young.
Yeah.
But then also it's just so brutal. It's like so, oh God, is there
going to be an actual band?
I think so, but I don't think they're starting just yet. But let's see, where are we on time?
Huh?
Oh wait, I paused it. Whatever. I don't know where we are on time. Doesn't matter. But
well, we'll keep going until they maybe start playing.
Yeah. But so like, what were we talking about even? Now I'm so lost.
Oh, high school depression. The weight of the world is on our shoulders.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. You're just stressing out. You're like, because it's like you've got homework up by itself.
Mm-hmm.
That's so stressful. Like you have to like make the grade.
That's why I dropped out of school.
Do all this shit. Yeah.
Was homework.
Yeah, you dropped out?
I dropped out of college because of homework and math.
Fuck yeah, dude. I dropped out for comedy. But
I mean, it ended up being for I ended up not going back because of comedy.
Sure.
Because I had always meant to go back, and then I just never did. And it's because I started doing comedy, and I was like, no, I think I'm really good at this, or like kind of good at this, or good enough at this.
Yeah.
And also, God, I just can't. Homework makes me so anxious.
It does. It's like, I talk about this a lot, and I try to take the lessons that I learned by thinking about by reflecting on high school and like apply it to getting shit done as an adult, like comedy and whatnot. Because like, I would be so worried about, I was like, well, this paper's not going to be an A. I can't get an A, so I wouldn't even start it. Like, just start the paper, turn in a fucking C paper. That's better than getting a 0.
I know. No, I would, like, if I couldn't turn in something that I knew I was going to do great on, I would rather just not hand it in at all.
Yeah, and then that's how you fail out of classes.
Exactly.
And it's all based in anxiety. Just because, if I weren't afraid, first off, if we weren't afraid, we'd probably start the paper and then write an A paper. But we've got in our heads that we can't write an A paper. And then, but even if we couldn't, we should just still turn in that C paper. You know?
Yeah. No, I could never do any of that. just handed in garbage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So then it's like you've already got the stress. Excuse me. You already got the stress of like homework and all that stuff. But then on top of that, you have to deal with social pressures, and like you're dealing with like, I want people to like me, and then you've got a fucking infomercial telling you like you're gonna get gross one day. You shouldn't, and then.
I feel like all of the media was just telling me just this impending doom of being gross one day.
Yeah.
Like. And just trying to delay the grossness forever.
Yeah.
And I definitely used to care so much more. And like the thought of being over the age of 50 or like getting to there just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I mean, that comes from like ideas that I think my grandmother instilled in my mother, who instilled it in me.
Yeah, pass it down. Yeah.
Yeah, like my sister and I were talking about it, and my sister was like, well, your grandmother equates beauty with power. So, like, if you're not beautiful, you're not powerful, and like power is I come from a long line of villains.
Yeah. Got a lot of villain in my blood.
Yeah, there's like just so much villain here, and I'm just trying to be a nice girl. And so then the thought of like something out of my control like affecting, because like if you're fat you can work out, and like now, not saying that people who are fat aren't beautiful, like that's a stupid thought, but I mean it's like what's instilled in you as it's like media.
If you have personally, if you're like, I want to look this way, you're entitled to look that way. Like, you're not putting that on anyone else. So I get what you're saying, like where you're just like, I thought that if I would get like one way that I was unhappy with, I could like do something to fix that.
Right.
And then, but there are certain things where it's like, oh, this is just out of my control entirely.
Exactly. Yeah.
And those things are horrifying. Because it's like it could happen at any moment. And then honestly, when you see people with it, you're like, oh, they're happy. Like,
exactly.
Why can't I just calm down?
They're like people that have varicose veins. Like my dad was saying how my uncle has varicose veins that look like grapes.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah, wait, tell that story. So
God.
you messaged your dad to tell him about the podcast?
I was my dad and my sister and I are all in a group chat together.
Okay.
Because
so you're tight with like your
yeah, I'm tight with my dad and my sister. We're going on a family vacation next week. So and my dad just got an iPhone, and I was like, this will be a cute little thing. And my dad doesn't really know how to use it. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was like, what are you doing today? And I was like, oh, a friend of mine just asked me to record a podcast. And he asked me what it was about. And I told him it was about irrational fears. And he was like, what's your irrational fear?
Yeah.
Because he's a psychologist.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I thought I beat all of those out of you. But I was like,
mentally,
oh,
not physically.
Yeah. I was like, oh, well, varicose veins. And then he just started making fun of me immediately.
Yeah.
Just like could not. I was like, oh, this is why I don't tell you things. And he was like, your uncle Raul has varicose veins on his calf that look like grapes.
Jesus Christ. That's such a... I don't need that description.
I
like,
know,
why are you
right?
adding that in, you know?
He's like, I could get him to send you some pictures to desensitize you to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not going to help.
I would love if your phone just went off right now.
Oh, my God, right? And it's just
Uncle
like
Raul.
my Uncle Raul sending me pictures of his legs.
His grape legs. Oh, man. So that have you seen, like, do those bother you? Have you seen them?
My uncles?
Yeah.
I haven't seen my uncle for quite a while, and I think the last time I saw him it was winter.
Yeah.
So because he lives in Peru
so
and he was down here, so I don't think I saw his legs.
Yeah.
But I think if I did see him, I like would be like super grossed out at first.
Yeah.
And I would do a lot of like trying just to like look at him in the face. Absolutely. And like being like, no, that's not there. It's not there. Sure. It's fine. God, it makes me feel so like self-conscious to be like talking about somebody else's body.
Yeah, I get that.
But it's not. I don't know.
It's not coming from a mean place.
No, it's not. Yeah, I'm not doing it to like shame anybody that has like weird things with their body, and like I'd be.
We all have our irrational fears, and like, I don't judge. I wouldn't judge people on their bodies, but then when I see someone with a particular ailment that I'm afraid of, and I do feel like I'm judging them, but it's not that. I'm just like, you represent my fear, and this is
and it's
making
like
me
not
face
a
that
fear that
head-on.
we have stemmed just because. It's like a thing that was instilled in us by like
Right.
media ideas of like bodies, and also trying to sell products. So like capitalism.
Exactly. You were trained to feel this way.
Exactly.
And you can only do so much to deprogram yourself.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel like, I mean, the thing, like you should just feel good that you're aware of it. That you're like, oh, I feel bad that I feel like I'm judging this person. But it's like, you shouldn't feel bad. You should feel good that you realize like, oh, okay, that's not a great thing to do. And then that's where improvement comes from. You just find these
Charlie.
things and you don't. Because if you start beating yourself up, there's never going to be any sort of like mental improvement.
Yeah,
You're just gonna
that's super
feel
true.
shitty and shit on yourself, and that's not good. You just gotta check
yeah,
yourself.
because I
Be
guess
like, okay,
there are people who are like afraid of things, who are just afraid of things, and they're not like willing to look at why they are afraid or trying to fix it or any of that.
So you're good, dude.
I'm sure if one day for some reason I got varicose veins, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
Because when I was a real young kid, my brother is 9 years older than me, and he has been like lifting weights forever. He got stretch marks.
Yeah.
And I was like super young. I was like 8, and I felt the same way that I did about varicose veins when I saw, because he would just like walk around with his shirt off.
Yeah.
And I saw like the stretch marks on his arms and on his hips and stuff, and they were like purple, and I was just like, oh God, like what are those?
Yeah.
And my brother was like, they're stretch marks and they happen. And I was just like, oh my, is that gonna happen to me? And I was like so scared of stretch marks for the longest time, and then I hit puberty and my body like rapidly changed to like very different, and I got stretch marks like all over myself, literally everywhere, just like bright purple stretch marks all across my stomach, my thighs, the back of my calves, my arms, everywhere. Like anywhere you could get a stretch mark, I had one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, this is gross. No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, you get over it.
So it's like one of those things that you're so...
Hopefully you get over it. Otherwise, it's a burden.
At this point, I'm fine with stretch marks. I like don't even notice that I have them anymore. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess I do have stretch marks.
Yeah. The first time I saw stretch marks were a similar experience. It was a friend who works out, and his were like purple as well. Like,
yeah.
Because I've seen a lot, and like it's not. I feel like it's less common for them to be like discolored and stuff. When I saw his, I was really anxious for him. It felt like a vulnerable, weak place. Like I thought, like I was like, what is happening? Like, are you ripping? Like I just I couldn't comprehend what was going on, and. But the thing is, like, he's fucking fit.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not,
my brother got them from
judging,
working out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I guess I can't work out ever.
Yeah, that's an insane fear to have.
I know.
You're like, if I do that, then I'm going to, that's nuts.
I know.
Oh, we're crazy people.
I know. It's like body stress is like so insane, because then like once something really does happen, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I know that if I get grape-sized varicose veins on my leg, I'll just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. There's not spiders in them.
Yeah.
Like.
And then you're realizing like, oh, this isn't hurt. This is just like a thing. Like it's not going to affect my life that much.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget about it.
Yep. But until I get there, I'm going to be afraid of it.
Sure. No, I get that. So how bad is your fear now?
It's definitely less than it was when I was in high school.
Yeah. It's more just like in the back of your head.
Yeah, because it's like one of those things that's like, I worry about my own body much less than I used to, or like my appearance, I guess, way less than I used to.
Yeah.
But when it's like brought in front of my face, just like any other kind of skin thing, like if I like see a varicose, like a very affected varicosey leg, I don't know what to say,
no, I get it.
or like what to call it. I'm like immediately just kind of like, oh no, oh I hate it.
It's kind of like it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, it's not
it's like, oh,
right.
Wait,
yeah,
I'm still afraid of this.
Yep. Same with like any kind of rash or whatever. It's like,
That's so funny because you mentioned like you Googled it, and it's like, if you have any kind of anxiety about something, like don't Google. Like the
I
funniest thing to
know.
me is like, I think
It's the first thing I do too.
Yeah,
I just
you
Google
have to.
everything immediately because I'm like, I want to know exactly what it is that I'm afraid of.
Absolutely.
And then I find out the worst parts of it.
And especially now that Google has like, they've changed to like, they give you like 2 or 3 examples of what the image search would be.
Oh, God,
so like even if
yeah.
you're just Googling for information, you're still going to see pictures of it. Like it's right there. Like I think the funniest thing is I think it's called trypophobia, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like fear of like patterns and holes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That if you Google it, the pictures that come up immediately, like if you were Googling like gross little holes or something, like yeah, you deserve to like see those pictures. But like if you Google the technical term, wouldn't you think they would like have like some sort of sensitivity where they're like, let's not have
A Google
just
trigger
pictures
warning?
of this fucking the thing that's gonna freak you out
Yeah.
come up. Like you're trying to learn about an ailment you have, and then you get to see
And then
it,
immediately
and then you
it's
freak
just
out.
like,
Yeah.
right there.
Fucking Google, man.
Yeah. Google's just like a bro that's like, oh, you're afraid of it? You're afraid of this?
Yeah, exactly.
And like it just like shoves it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I Googled it and just to like be sure that it still grossed me out, I like hit the image button.
Yeah.
And like I was just like, okay, no, you're fine. It's fine. But also like I couldn't go more than maybe like, I think I lasted maybe 5 seconds on Google image search.
Okay,
before
but
I
I
was
mean,
just
you're
like,
still brave enough to click on it.
yeah.
So you're probably better. You're
Yeah.
probably your fear is way less.
Yeah.
It seems like back in the day you would never be able to.
No, I probably would have cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Which is so weird. Like, just to think of myself crying about somebody else's bumpy leg. Like, that's such a dumb thing. And all because of an info. Like, I didn't even know what varicose veins were before that infomercial.
And that's the worst way to find out about something is someone telling you, like, hey, you know that thing you've never heard of? Well, it's gross and you shouldn't have it. And you're like, I don't have any understanding of this concept, and they're telling me it's gross right away.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing. They're like, we're going to we're going to imprint this on all these people. Man.
They did a good job.
Some of them are great. Some of them are. I still have, so like there's one that was like the whole infomercial. This was the worst infomercial I ever saw. It seemed like this like weird man paid for it out of his own pocket. The whole concept of it was you don't shit out all the toxins and stuff in your body, and it just cakes up in your like.
Oh my God, no.
And then it was like you do this cleanse and like this, and it showed like an example of like all the stuff that came out of a human, and it was like way too big to actually have come out of a human. And I saw that and I was like, oh my God, that's inside of me. And then I was like, all those toxins are slowing me down. That's why I'm a lazy piece of shit who can't read or pass any classes or anything like that. And then like I got real into like I wanted to do this thing, and like I really fell for it hard. And now I know better. And like I'm pretty sure it even came out like they like it was a total fraud. Like
just 100% a fraud.
Yeah, where like most infomercials are like they're overselling something that barely
like
works.
it's like something somewhat true,
Yeah.
like based in like the smallest truth that they've gone and like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the varicose vein commercial, they could probably make a slight cosmetic difference, not nearly as good as they're claiming to make. But this was apparently like total fraud. That's what I think I heard. I haven't thought about this since I was like 17. But then still in my head, I have this idea that I am not cleansed enough, that I still have like that I need to like
that image itself is just like burned into your brain.
Yeah. Something's in there. It's just a permanent part of me where I think like I have just gross bile in my body and I need to get it out. And it's what's causing me to be.
God, that's probably what Catholic guilt feels like.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Well, Danii, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about this? You feel like you got it all off your chest?
I
really
mean,
stumbled through that.
I don't think it'll ever totally be off my chest until I like have to like fully face a varicose vein on my own body and realize that I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I can't. We covered a lot of ground.
We did. Sorry, I felt like I talked a whole bunch.
No, I feel like we talked a very even amount.
That's good.
I think. I don't know.
Maybe I'll get tweets telling me otherwise, but I'm happy that you feel that
Charlie,
way.
you talk way too much. No, this was a good
I took my
conversation.
ADD medication right before coming here, so I'm just firing on all cylinders.
That's one of the
right
reasons why I got the coffee. I got a coffee
Yeah.
for all you listeners at home.
Yeah, Dani's got a coffee next to her beer.
my favorite drink. I love to have 3 forms of drinks in front of me.
Why? What do you mean?
It brings me comfort because yep.
That's
I'm
not
a
the answer
very
I was
weird
expecting.
person.
I almost just spit my beer out.
Well, I love to have a coffee, a water, and then a third. So a coffee, a water, and then an alcohol,
Yeah,
or
it's usually
a
an
coffee, a
alcohol.
water, and a juice,
Yeah.
or
That's
yeah,
interesting.
that's about and
Got a lot of dishes to do at your house.
yeah. But it's mostly at restaurants that I like it, and
gotcha.
once I have the 3, I'm just this is the best.
Yeah.
It's it's not I feel incomplete otherwise, but when it happens, I'm just oh yes, this
You know
is
what that
great.
might be is what was it? What's it called? Decision fatigue. You know what decision fatigue is?
Oh, when you get exhausted trying to make a choice.
Yeah. So some people try to eliminate all choices from their lives, Bill Gates, fucking Zuckerberg. He they wear the same clothes every single day because they're why would I devote any energy towards making a choice about something as inconsequential as clothes? So decision fatigue is it's how you get stressed out scrolling through Netflix because you're I don't know what to watch. Maybe this is you combating decision fatigue because you're
It might be.
it doesn't matter if I change my mind halfway through because I have all 3 options right in
I
front of me.
definitely have a bit of that. I look at menus and I'm just oh God, and then I'm always the last to order, and then I call it food FOMO.
Sure.
Where
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
where I'm worried that if I get one thing, I'm gonna wish that I had gotten another thing,
Yeah.
and then what if I didn't get the number 1 best thing on the menu, or what if this one's not as satisfying? What if I look over there and I say, yeah.
Totally get it.
But when I have 3 drinks in front of me, I'm oh, this is dope.
Just feeling
I have
good.
it all. I am living my best life.
Well, you did great today, despite not having a 3rd drink in front of you. I'm very glad. I wish
was
I'd known.
just
I would have
missing-
brought you,
A water.
water. Yeah.
I thought about bringing a water back here, but I
Yeah.
didn't.
Not a
But
big
I
deal.
almost did.
You did great. You did great without the water.
Thank you, Charlie.
But what would it have been? I am not saying any of these words right. What would it have been if you had that water?
Who knows?
This would have skyrocketed in the charts. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about anymore.
In some parallel universe, I had the water.
Yeah, and it actually ruined everything. So good thing.
Yeah, it spilled all over all of your
Oh, no.
equipment. Oh my God.
I've never considered that. I've recorded so many episodes with full beers sitting next to this very expensive
Beer
equipment.
doesn't spill, only water spills.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We know the people we know wouldn't spill a beer.
That's true.
They just wouldn't allow that travesty to happen.
Oh God, no.
Well, Danii, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you so much for having me,
I
Charlie.
try to do plugs at the end. I'm bad at plugs. So let's
Okay.
get into it. You are co-host of a very great show in
Yes.
Chicago called We Still Like You.
Co-creator.
Co-creator, yes. It's way more than co-host, co-creator. And that show, it's a really fun show. People come on and they tell stories that they otherwise wouldn't normally tell in public.
Stories of shame for people like you.
Yeah. And then at the end of their stories, everyone in the audience yells, "We still like you."
still like you.
And it's a very fun, heartwarming experience. I've been to a good handful of them, and they're a great time.
We tried to have you on.
Yeah, and I couldn't make it on the date that Tyler messaged me, but I also am I don't know what story I would tell. This is me worrying that I'm going to have a C paper.
Oh.
I'm panicking about what story to tell. So what I need to do
I
is
could
just
help
make a
you.
decision and then fucking commit. Because once I'm committed, I'm not going to back out of a booking.
Right.
You know? That's what I got to do.
Just let me know what some stories you could tell are, and I'll help you pick it, and
Yeah, for sure.
we can work on it
I'll hit
together.
you up about that.
But yeah, it's a monthly show that we're doing twice a month this summer, because we used to do the outdoor shows.
Yeah.
But now we're in a theater.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to lose our theater space. Also, we love the Flatiron building.
Yeah.
And we love working with the guy from Flatiron Comedy. But we also still wanted to do our fun outdoor shows.
For sure.
So we're doing twice a month this summer. So first and third Saturday of the month. And then we also record for a live podcast.
Yeah, so check out the We Still Like You podcast.
You can find it for free on iTunes.
Yeah, fuck yeah. If you don't live in Chicago. If you do live in Chicago, just come to the live shows. They're so good.
But also listen to the podcast.
Yeah, you got to get those numbers up. Rate and review, subscribe, all that shit.
Yeah.
But so where the outdoor shows are more of a pop-up random thing. So follow
Yes.
them on Facebook and Twitter to find out the
Yes.
locations. But the more consistent one, that one's in the Flatiron building?
Flatiron Arts Building, in the Flatiron Comedy Theater on the 3rd floor. First Saturday of the month at 10 p.m.
Even with all that information, that building is still a maze.
I know, it really is.
really hard to find anything
it's
in that building.
Like, I feel
It's
like
a dope building.
it's great, but like, and I like it for this reason, but it feels like one of those like whimsical buildings from like one of those like old TV shows from the 90s where there's like, you're just going to turn like the Labyrinth or something where you're going to turn a corner and then all of a sudden you're accidentally in a magical adventure.
Yeah, well, it feels like that because sometimes you turn a corner because like a lot of it is studio space with artists and stuff.
Right.
So you turn a corner and it's like a lobby, but it's like decked out in like all this crazy art. And
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? Like this
you
hallway
turn a
is
corner
boring.
and there's just like a glittery demon object.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a cool building. I really like running a show out of it, and all of the people that work with us in there are super dope.
Yeah, I've never heard any complaints out of people that run shows out of that building.
Yeah.
Just the whole, like the entire building in general.
Yeah, it's just great,
Yeah.
honestly.
So, check out that show, and then they can find you on Twitter.
At Foxy_Gran.
Yeah, Foxy
Yeah.
Gran. Yeah, love Foxy Gran. That's FOXY_GRAN.
Yep.
Just to
Foxy Gran.
be super clear about that. Anywhere else, like Instagram, anything else you want to plug?
Instagram, I'm Danii Lion, DaniiLion.
Ooh, fuck yeah.
It's mostly just like selfies and like pictures of my friends partying, and then like
Do I follow you on Instagram?
I don't know.
I'm gonna do that after this podcast.
Cool. I think we might follow each other.
Maybe.
And then I work at an
pretty recently
empanada
getting
shop,
into it.
and so I just take a lot of pictures of empanadas and coffee.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you have anything else you want to plug?
I can't think of anything. Oh, I'm going to be doing a character at the Women's Funny Festival
Here in Chicago?
here in Chicago
Awesome.
for Mom Jeans
Oh, fuck yeah, Mom Jeans is a
on
good show.
June 19th.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
June 19th in Chicago, check out the Women's Funny Festival schedule
Yeah.
and find Mom Jeans.
Yeah,
Go see
it's gonna be
Danii
great.
in her element.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be more honest for me than I am even in my own stand-up.
Yeah? What's the character?
It's a character
can
called...
you tell the character?
Yeah, I can. It's a character that I do called Drunk Aunt.
Oh, I love a drunk aunt.
Yeah. It's and at first it was like kind of like making fun of drunk aunts from like Jersey and stuff.
Yeah.
But then it like I started writing her and performing her and just feeling like such a connection
Now it's
to the
celebrating drunk
character,
aunts?
and now it's like celebrating these like empowered women that I feel like kind of figured it out like way sooner than like people who aren't drunk aunts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Real fun time gal.
Yeah. She loves to travel.
Well, that's great. Well, Danii, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you so much, Charlie. This is great.
I'm trying to get into plugging myself because I always forget. You can find me at Charlie Roar, ROHRER, and you can find my Tumblr with my show dates and all that other shit at hearmeroar.tumblr.com. Once again, roar is spelled ROHRER in that, and there's a drum going off all of a sudden. And that's pretty much all the plugs I have. Danii,
I feel like this is it. This is the
thank you
podcast.
so much. This is a good time to end when they start testing how the drums sound. Thank you so much for doing my podcast.
This was
a
great.
great episode. Also, thank you so much for. I am so glad. Like, I don't have to edit this at all. This is gonna be I'm just gonna put this right up, and I'm glad because, like I said, all this chaos and noise. That would be such a glaring, fucking edit point to just like, oh man. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you, Danii. You're a
This
great
was
guest.
fun. I think it has character.
I like it. I'm gonna have to do this more often.
Do it in the back of a
I don't
bar?
have to
Yeah.
fucking clean my apartment all the time when I want to have guests over. Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Danii.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.